again, and welcome back to the Dark Moon Podcast. I'm your hostess, I'm Kate Sylvanus, and if you're joining us for the first time, it's perfect timing. March. So this is a podcast on astrological events, witchcraft and druidic traditions. It's basically a weather forecast for March. But March is essentially nature's way of saying plot twist. 1 minute you're wearing 3 sweaters and the next you're squinting at a crocus like saying, how did you get here? So today we're diving into March 2026, a month that is absolutely packed with magical goodness. We've got a lunar eclipse paired with the worm moon. Yes, you heard that right, the worm moon. We've got the Spring Equinox known as Ostara. And we're going to explore all the stones, herbs, trees and garden magic that make March one of the most exciting months on the wheel of the year. So grab your coffee, tea or whatever beverage makes you feel mystical and let's jump in. The blood moon. What blood worm moon. Ooh, eclipse. March's dramatic opening. Okay, so let's talk about the celestial drama happening on March the 3rd at 6:38 a.m. I think that's American time. I couldn't work it out. All right, I think it's about 11:38 UK time. But we'll have a full worm moon, which also happens to coincide with a total lunar eclipse. This is basically nature's way of giving us a 2-for-1 special. And honestly, it's a chef's kiss. I know what you're thinking. Worm moon? Really? Couldn't they come up with something more like glamorous? I mean, you've got wolves and beavers and stuff. What the freaking heck is a worm moon? But okay, the name comes from the earthworms that start appearing as the ground thaws in March. Indigenous people and early American settlers noticed that robins would return and start pulling worms from the softened soil. It's actually a beautiful sign that the earth is waking up, though I admit that blood worm moon eclipse, this sounds really heavy metal, but alright, what do I know? During this lunar eclipse, it's a total lunar eclipse, the moon is going to turn that gorgeous coppery red that earns it the nickname blood moon. It happens because the Earth's atmosphere filters the sunlight passing through it, bending red wavelengths onto the moon's surface. It's science, right? But it really does look magic. The eclipse is most visible from western North America, so the Pacific region. So I'm not going to be able to see it. So this is for the Americans. It's like Eastern Asia, Australia, New Zealand. You'll all see it. But Africa, Europe, nah. But if you can see it, make sure you're outside for it. You don't need any special equipment, just your eyeballs. Maybe a blanket, because it's March and it's cold. Astrologically, this full moon falls in Virgo, which brings themes of service, healing, organization, and perfectionism. Virgo energy asks us to get practical about our dreams. It's like the universe saying, okay, you've had your big ideas, now let's make a spreadsheet. Or ask the AI to do it for you. They're all very willing to help, aren't they? During an eclipse, these themes get amplified thousands of times, okay? Wow. Eclipses are portal moments. They're not time for manifest, okay? This is plot twists that bring sudden revelations, endings and beginnings. Eclipses are wild cards, right? You don't want to accidentally manifest chaos, okay? Just don't. This is a time to witness, see some of my previous stuff, release and allow transformation to happen. Think of yourself as a mystical observer rather than an active spellcaster. The new moon arrives on March the 18th, giving us a perfect opportunity for fresh starts, new intentions, right? So just be aware of the tides. We're having an intense tide beginning of March. Then it's new starts around about the 18th. Green light, go for the manifestation, vision boarding, and planting metaphorical seeds, though I would look at planting other seeds as well. So, Ostara, Easter, basically. Christians nick the name anyway. The spring equinox, this is balance. This is the balance within balance within balance, okay? Everything's balanced. So this is the main event of March's magical calendar, Ostara. The spring equinox happening on March the 20th, approximately, times. Okay, this one is like Eastern time, 10:47 Eastern time, so that's what, about 4? I don't know. I'm trying to work them out to English time, to British time, but anyway, get close to the time. I think it's around about 3 or 4ish in the afternoon. It's one of those, one of only 2 days a year when day and night are perfectly balanced. Equal amount of light and darkness. Okay, Ostara gets its name from Easter, a German goddess of spring, dawn, and fertility. And yeah, they nicked it. Christianity adopted many pagan spring traditions, which you will see eggs and rabbits all over the place in late March and April. And if you can hear squeaky noises in the background, that's my puppy playing with his squeaky toy. But it sounds like eggs and rabbits, doesn't it? Not really. Here's what I love about Ostara. It's hopeful, without being naively optimistic. The ground may still be frozen in some places, but underneath, things are stirring. Seeds are swelling. Roots are reaching. The light is returning. And even though winter may throw 1 or 2 last tantrums, looking at you, British weather, spring is inevitable at this point. This is a festival of balance and new beginnings. The darkness of winter and the light of summer are perfect equilibrium. And we can use this energy to find balance in your own life. I mean, this is what I do. I see what I can do to find balance, and especially health-wise. Where are you tipping too far in one direction? Traditional Ostara celebrations include decorating eggs, of course they do, which represent potential and new life. The yolk symbolizes the sun god, the white represents the goddess. The whole thing is basically a portable symbol of creation, okay? So, no wonder every culture on Earth has some version of special eggs in spring. Other traditional activities include planting seeds, literally and metaphorically, spring cleaning, which is a magical act of purification. No kidding. Making flower crowns, lighting green or yellow candles, and feasting on foods that represent spring, like fresh greens, dairy, honey, and bread. In Druidic traditions, the time is called Alban Ilir, which means light of the earth. The Druids understood that this is when the Earth's life force was truly returning. They would perform ceremonies at sacred sites, particularly near springs and wells, to honour the balance of the day and welcome the growing season. One of the favourites of when I was bringing up kids, Easter traditions, is the eggs of intention. You hard-boil an egg while decorating them, and you charge each colour or symbol with a specific intention. Red for passion and courage, green for prosperity and growth, yellow for creativity and joy, and purple for spiritual connection. I mean, it's that simple. I remember doing bits and pieces with the kids, and it was kind of nice. You could hide them, and they have to go on an Easter egg hunt. That's also good. You can eat them in ritual feasts, but yeah, or bury them in the garden. They used to get lost when the kids go and hunt them and they can't find them. Then we find them months later, rather yucky. But yeah, it was all part of good time of the year. And it's also a traditional time when the goddess, who's been the crone through winter, transforms into her maiden aspect. The god reborn at Yule is now youth full of potential. If you work with the deities, Ostara is a beautiful time to honour the divine dance of masculine and feminine energies. Yeah. Okay, so stones and crystals. March's traditional birthstone is aquamarine. It's absolutely perfect for this watery transitional month. Aquamarine is the stone of courage, clarity, and communication. Literally named after seawater, it carries that flowing, adaptable energy that March requires. It's especially helpful during the equinox for finding balance and speaking your truth. For eclipse work, I recommend the dark ones, the dark stones, black tourmaline, obsidian, jet, if you like, for protection and grounding. during the intense lunar eclipse. Eclipses make things feel a bit chaotic. If you can find a double terminated black stone, obsidian it would be worth it. Moonstone, of course, perfect for any full moon work, but especially during eclipse. It helps you tune into lunar frequencies. Any of the opal or the sort of the watery, moony sort of coloured stones. Lapis lazuli, all of that stuff. The ones that glitter. It's always helpful during the equinox to sort of just tune in if what you need. I love working with stones. You can wander around and find a bit of flint in March. Flint holds the fire, absolutely. But if you find a bit of flint in water, now we're talking. Okay, so rose quartz, new love, why not? What else have they got? They've got a list here. Green aventurine, citrine, whatever. I think I would stick to the darker ones and the sort of the watery, fiery things. Moss agate is nice. Helps you connect with the earth. Moss agate's an odd stone because they're not always that attractive looking. But it's really good for gardening, making your gardens grow. Clear quartz amplifies everything. Yeah. So basically it's an all-purpose stone. Most of my large crystal ball is clear quartz, and pretty much all year. But they can be also programmed. So you hold one in your hands and you just find out what you want. I think a lot of magic is finding out what you want. Crystal rituals, crystal grids, yada yada. Okay, the Celtic trees. March is ruled by the ash, one of the most sacred trees in Celtic and Norse mythology. If you've heard of the Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects the 9 realms in Norse cosmology, that's an ash tree, right? So it is one of the main sacred trees. The connection between realms, making it perfect for the balance, the threshold balance between winter and spring. All of these you can read up, along with like oak, I think thorn, and they all go through all together. They're all sort of threshold things. Yew, to a certain extent, yew is threshold between light and dark. A lot of these are interconnected, but ash is like wands and staffs. Yes, you can do yourself a Harry Potter wand out of ash. They were being believed to protect against drowning, so they were often planted near wells and springs and rivers. So late March seems to, in the calendar, the tree system goes into Alder. Alder is the tree of resurrection and renewal, associated with the Welsh god Bran the Blessed. And we've also had the Welsh St. David's Day at the beginning of this month. So March has an awful lot of Welsh about it. When you cut alder, the wood initially appears white, but it turns red as it oxidizes. Looks like it's bleeding. This gave alder a mystical reputation, connected it to sacrifice, transformation, and the blood of life returning to the earth in spring. Alder loves water and is often found growing near streams and marshes. The wood is water resistant, making it perfect for building bridges, both literal and metaphorical. And in magic, it helps us bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be. So I'm going to go out looking for a bit of alder for this spring, for this March, collecting fallen branches if possible, because I don't like cutting off stuff that's not good, especially for rituals. But I'm going to go and see if I can identify some nice bit of alder. Okay, so the plants. Yes, the plants are all ready coming up. You got dandelions are just about coming up. This is the beginning of March. And of course the cleavers will be up soon as well. So you got daffodils, crocuses, of course. Powerful symbols of resilience and hope. Daffodils are sacred to Persephone, and represent the return from the underworld. Of course they do. Yeah, I've got a couple growing on the roof of my boat, and I put a bulb in a couple of years back, and it's always very magical when flowers just pop up again. I haven't got a very good garden because it's not deep enough, and it's also very exposed up on the boat, the roof of the boat. Violets, of course, magic for love and peace spells if you're into that. Dandelion, yeah. Jasmine, lemon balm, primrose, thyme, fresh green spinach, lettuce, easy herbs. Make pesto with the basil of the first season. But this is your time, gardeners. Gardeners have fun. It's a very expensive time usually because you go shopping in garden centres and drop a packet. But this is a time of action. It's the right things to get started. Start things. Even if you don't finish them, it's still good to start as many things as possible. So the new moon, the dark moon, is on the 18th. Waxing phase from the 18th through to April 2nd is perfect for planting stuff, anything, lettuce, spinach, peas, I don't know, and herbs, things indoors as well, if you have the space. Peas are traditional, but basil, that sort of thing. I've got some still on the roof, some thyme, and mint. Yes, that took over. The mint can take over quite a bit. So create a garden blessing on the equinox. When things are in perfect balance, it's good to bring that into your garden. Okay, so the sun moves from Pisces into Aries on March the 20th, the exact same day as the spring equinox. Not a coincidence. An equinox literally defines the beginning of the Aries season. This is the first side of the zodiac, and it brings fierce, pioneering, let's do this energy. So after a dreamy, emotional Pisces season, Aries is like a shot of espresso. I had a shot of espresso not so long ago, and I'm still reeling from it. Yes, the palpitations was quite entertaining. But, yeah, okay, so we've got a lot of Aries energy starting off. Pisces into Aries, no, from the 20th. So, in other words, start things. Even if you don't intend to finish them, it's good to start them. And then we've got Mercury direct, so communication. Mercury is not retrograde. Blah. Venus is in our skies in the morning, bringing love, beauty, and harmony to our early hours. Yeah. If you can sleep through dawn, that's great, but I can't often, so it's like, hello, dawn. Mars is also visible. So Mars, and with the sun moving into Aries, yeah, a lot of get up and go energy. Jupiter is continuing its transit, bringing expansion and optimism. That's a good year for taking risks, thinking big. Bold moves. Right. Saturn provides structure and discipline, reminding us that dreams need foundations. So use Saturn's influence to create sustainable plans for your spring goals. You know, this is all taken with a pinch of salt. This is not dictation. This is what's going on around you, and just knowing that the tides are in this sort of mood and in this sort of energy is all you need, really. You don't sort of religiously follow this. The lunar eclipse and the balance of the equinox. These are all just standard ebbs and flows of tides. Divination is good, but I don't think you need to take it too seriously. That is my honest opinion here. I will sit with the spring energy, and I'll do some gazing. Just gaze across the land, gaze across the sky, gaze across some plants that are growing. Sometimes I get the ducks. Sometimes I just get the pussycat and the puppy. It's a matter of just gaze without really any goal. And it's a form of meditation where you sort of just gaze and allow thoughts come and go, and you just try and find some balance in the tides that are going without and within. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here that I've put in there that I don't feel. I think you can look this up. This is all standard operating procedure. We've been through spring many times, but I've just given you a basic guide to the month of March, the basic cosmic weather report for March. And yes, let's go into the garden to eat bloodworms. Ugh, what is a horrible image to finish with. Anyway, love you lots. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye now.